Okay, should be going. It's picked it up. There we go. Check the sound. Bingo. All right, we're back in the game. Okay. Let's shrink Theo down a little there. Can you explain how it decides where a build runs? Is it do we have a separate script for the release builds that we run on GitHub as opposed to the workflow builds that we run on the Mini? Oh, I've done my arm in somehow doing pull-ups. Really annoying. GitHub Actions aside from each job's runs on field. The workflow still lives in GitHub. Runs on chooses the machine. Because we want to do all the builds on the Mac Mini. The overall goal is to minimize the amount of minutes we use on the GitHub Actions because we get a certain limited amount per month. So if we can defer the build and any work onto the Mac Mini, we should do that. So if the plan as communicated for this app was incorrect and I said something about running builds on GitHub, that was a mistake. All the builds should run on the Mac Mini, and then we should just use the GitHub Actions to do the verification, notarization, and the final publication, obviously, because it's distributed through GitHub. Does that make sense? And what are the implications for the Electrobun builds and update stuff? Does Electrobun have an update configuration, or do we have to do something ourselves? Yeah, see, this one I gave the same exact prompt and it got it right. The joy of non-deterministic systems. Just assigning, cert stuff, get the artifact off, yeah. All right. And then set all the keys in the repo. Adapt this as follows. MacMini builds a complete unsigned app and calculates Electrobund's update hash. GitHub signs and notarizes that app. GitHub compresses the signed app into the Electrobund update archive. GitHub writes in this. Publish. Built-in update machinery. This Pro is not wired it up yet. That's fine. Latest download. That's the same as we're doing for. What's the app called? For the domain tracker. Can't help feeling like we need a better name for the domain tracker. It's not exactly exciting, is it? For the tagged releases, why do we need to run that on GitHub? It didn't seem necessary. We can run the build, right? And then do the notarization and sign in after the build is done. We run builds on Mac Mini. Do we run the release builds on the Mac Mini as well? Are we still building those on GitHub? The important thing is for as little as possible to run on GitHub overall. That's the point. So if we have to run only release builds, okay, let me read it. Yeah. Can you detail that so I can give it to the other app and just test it works? While that's running, I'll be back in a sec. God damn it. Yeah, I've really hurt my shoulder. That sucks. Really sucks. Yeah, I don't care what order they happen in. Yeah, okay, I see the point. Maybe we shouldn't do it that way. For security purposes, keep the GitHub doing that final release build. As long as all the others run, I guess that would be okay. Maybe. I've discovered I really like 0% beers. All the benefits of a nice cold beer on a hot day without the downsides of dehydrating yourself for the sake of having a drink, which is kind of self-defeating. Alright, maybe from that security point of view, we should keep the release builds on GitHub entirely. Just make sure that all the test builds that aren't triggered by a tag release and adding a new version tag, those run on the Mac Mini, but any release build should run on the GitHub environment, which probably is a bit more secure, potentially, than the, the Mac Mini that's running a bunch of AI agents. Wow. Okay, yeah, I think that's actually the best way to do it. That makes sense. And we only do releases periodic, like very rarely, so we're not going to use our thousands of minutes. I love it when it gives me estimates in days when we know it's going to be minutes. Could you write this up as a document or as a ticket? In fact, write it up as a document all of this, because we are not going to do this now. The priority is not App Store distribution. The priority is finishing up the last bits of polish and then seeing if anyone gives a damn about the app, which quite likely is not going to be the case. So we don't want to do a bunch more work, but we do want to keep track of the detail in this conversation that would help another agent pick this up really quickly. So please make sure it's well documented. So what I'm wondering is, are we going to lose Fable again today? Because I've hardly used it. It says it's going to reset on the 17th, which is interesting, isn't it? is Onshape. Holy fuck. £1,200 per user per year. That's quite steep, isn't it? Do they have MCP or something? Right, distractions. Stop getting distracted. He says,
Time
pressing
for a
play
real
on a YouTube video.
As I've mentioned in other videos.
Leave it. I haven't got time for Theo right now. I want to watch that video, but not right now. Right, focus. What can we do on this list to push things forward? Tell you what, I really don't like Lemon Squeezy because the Apple Pay support doesn't seem to work. So I'm seriously considering switching to Polar. That's clever. They've advertised Paddle have copied the Polar. Yeah, of course they have. Already I prefer the website. I don't know if it's just dark mode or not. But also, yeah, I don't like that. What happens if I search for Paddle? Are they doing it back? They're not doing it back. So I guess that means Paddle's making more money, huh? Release build signing and probably going to remain on macOS 15. Runner is registered online. Unsigned next week build passed. Okay. So let's go and confirm on the GitHub. So nothing has run on the GitHub yet. Alright, push that up. I know it'll fail because we haven't got all the creds, but I mean actually no, the build should work right on the Mini, so can we push that up and try it? Now we can run this. Which is definitely a build step, not a sell step, so what are you doing? I swear to goodness that I keep having threads in the PyRunner that get deleted. It's really weird. We've definitely talked about it. Maybe we're talking to Claude about it. I wonder if... Car key, I was modelling up the two. Car key, 3D model. No, not like that. Key case. It's got moving parts, so that's no good, is it? Yeah, one of them. You can't print one of them with all those pieces, can you? Oh, they're a £5. Fine, never mind. Okay, have we got... No. Completely forgot what I was about to say. Can I not collapse these anymore? Okay, fine. What do we need to fix on... Where is it? We need an icon for a start. And how does it look in... Is it running? No. Can you run a dev build of the latest version on this machine? How far through are we with the Sparkle and Lemon Squeezy setup? What remains? Is it just setting up the keys and testing, or is there other work to do? Where were we at over here? It's me being a dumbass. Should we have some tunes? It's a public key you just saw, so don't worry. Yeah, so I just need to do the keys. Okay. Yeah, that's a public key, right? So yeah, commit and push. Have a look at the PLs, shall we? License to the toolbar. Settings. We do have a settings page. I'm not overly happy with it, but it exists. Wonder if I can use both together in loopback. Turn on the mic. Check, check, check. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, that's why it's quiet. Look at that. I'm an idiot. As if you didn't know. Alright. That's really dumb. I can remove that gain filter. Oh wait, the noise gate's off. Yep. So the gain's down, now I can whack this up. And yeah. Clip, 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 clip. Okay. Well, at least we now know what was going on there, that's pretty good. Let me just check the sound over here. Alright, way better. In fact, we're pushing up to right up to the clipping levels. Crazy. Okay, fine. Crack on. No, where's my mic? There. So there we go. That list doesn't refresh when you go back. If I do that, I'll go back in. Yeah, now it's there. And now I guess the music's really loud. Pause. Yeah, really loud. One day we'll figure this out properly. Why is that dropped? That's so weird. Maybe there's a keyboard shortcut that's knocking it down. Alright, so now we can knock that down 50%. If I hit play on the music, I can still hear it in my head. There we go, that's better. Right. Mute that, make sure it's live. That's there, right, enough configuration. Hello, let's have a look at this then, shall we? The mutation interface returns effects that every caller must interpret, re-exposing stored domain state and cascade notification ordering. Deepen the mutation module so persistence and required cascade notifications complete together behind its seam. Let's ask Claude what he thinks of this. Wrong app. Domain checker. So that was put into tickets, so we can clear this one. Go away, stop asking me, you haven't done anything yet. We're on Fable. Right, speak. Please review the proposal for improving the code architecture and give us some feedback. Here's a link. You're up, Claude. What else we got? Deepen the schedules checks run. Run implementation. Small seam deep run. Callers and tests, no scheduling, Swift data, 4 observation commands. I thought we fixed all of this stuff. That's really bad though, isn't it? Look how it's selected Opus 4.8. So someone posted recently, I think probably Theo amplified it, but the new GPT-6 Sol cannot defer to lower powered models. Whereas one of the good things about Fable is you can say, hey, for easy tasks, use Sonnet. For, you know, known tasks that need a bit of intelligence, use Opus, and you only do the actual hard work. And it's quite good at being able to divvy up the work and reduce the overuse of Fable tokens, which is quite nice. So I highly recommend that with Fable. Make sure you set up a little note in your Claude.md to say, hey, for tasks, use models appropriate to the difficulty of the task at hand is actually quite a good idea. Alright, so they're running, verifying each of those cases, so that's pretty good. Let's see what happens if we run. What have we got going on in here? Is that just going to be the release stuff? Yeah. Alright, I'm going to have to do that at some point, but not now. Postgres, alright, the domain tracker, GitHub Actions, and local Mac Mini build runner configuration for the domain checker app, we should port that over as appropriate to this app so that we can run builds on demand on the Mac Mini and then run releases on GitHub and configure the notarization and pin all the stuff that we have to do to build for properly doing it on Apple. And then I know there's going to be a load of keys I need to add. Please list them out. I'm already preparing to do that for the Speakeasy native app, which is another good reference point for this configuration. So have a look at that, set up Postgres to do the same build pipeline with the Mac Mini runner and the tag release building on GitHub only so that we can minimize the use of our GitHub build minutes. Oh, Flappier. 3 stream streak. That's pretty impressive, man. Cool. We need a Speakeasy icon. Can you do some research on how people are using AI to build Mac OS app icons? Now with the app icon generator, all the multi-layer stuff and the new shapes and all of that stuff for Tahoe onwards, and still supporting Sequoia and Prior. Are there some good skills and workflows for building these icons? Because the one we've done for Domain Tracker kind of sucks and we need to do another one. It'd be good if we could build a process, a repeatable process to do like the background and the overlay and the pieces and make sure it fits all the guidelines for Apple. If you do some research, it'd be really handy if you could find how people are doing this, whether there's anything out there, and if not, what we would need to think about to build something ourselves. I wonder what that research skill even is. Oh. Alright. I mean, I use Figma. Let's do it. Why not? I'm not going to log in on that browser, but I am going to log in on this one. So I've just logged in. What are you actually doing? What? Connect Figma, yeah. But I've opened Figma. Oh. Installing the Figma plugin. I mean, I think I'm done. Yeah. Figma is not ready yet. Finish setting it up, then continue. How? Plugins. Figma, okay. That's product, that's not Figma. Skills, MCPs. How peculiar. Install. Continue to Figma. It keeps opening it in the wrong browser. Fine. Agree and allow access. No thanks. Okay. Should be approved. just a spinner. That's what we're looking at. It's not going well. Figma. Come on, buddy, what are you doing? Okay, I'm hitting refresh and go all day. Come on, man, what's going on? No, it's not working. You're not really though, are you? It's been approved. Okay, there we go maybe. Right. Is there anything else on here that we can do? Don't want to do that yet. Alright, while that's running, I'm going to just disappear for a second. I will be right back. Football indeed. To be honest with you, don't really care about football at all. But well done England for winning. It seemed like it was an exciting match with a lot of ups and downs. We didn't watch it, but we did see the score going up and down. So I hope you had a nice night. Hey man, how's it going? Did it ever run? It did. If that's where you're saving stuff, go for it. This looks ugly, doesn't it? Also, why are we on dock 2 when this is the launch screen? Can we go back? Oh, okay. On. Why do I have to type in a password again? Hey! This needs to move. Oh, it does move. No, no, no. That's annoying, isn't it? Okay. Testing the onboarding. There's some weird transparency issues going on, but the main thing is the overlays that appear on the permission granting switches is covering the switch, so the positioning is off. We need to make sure that when we are showing the hints on the settings screen that we don't cover the button that we're suggesting people click, because obviously that makes no sense. Oh, something's going crazy. I think we've got fans blasting. As usual, man, I'm working on all sorts of ridiculousness and not focusing at all. And this is annoying because this is not going to let me click it. Okay, there we go. You going to detect it? I don't think that's it. We need to add it the hard way. But I don't know where the build is. That's really ugly as well, isn't it? How disgusting. Testing onboarding for permissions is really hard. Is there a way that we can write a script to always completely reset all permissions and remove every record of this app having ever been run on this machine, including all permissions like accessibility and input monitoring? We've got an entry for Speakeasy in the input monitoring, but I don't think it's the one that we're running. And I guess maybe it doesn't allow duplicates, so the new one that we are running doesn't show. The dev build that we're running, I don't know where that actual build file is, so adding it is kind of annoying. Testing the onboarding is really problematic. Can we write some script to just wipe out the app as if it never existed on this machine? Actually, just keep that in edit for a minute. Yeah, macOS permissions is one of the most depressing things in the world. Really hard to test. And of course, a voice-to-text app requires everything. And hopefully we'll be able to guarantee that this actually works on various versions. Oh, no way, you won the bet on winning in extra time, epic. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What gave you the... Why did you decide to do that? Just a feeling. Connected to the future. Time is an illusion. Oh yeah, we had Claude reviewing our proposal. Three of the four candidates identify real. 3 of them do, and 1 of them doesn't. But the before diagrams consistently overstate the current pain. In each candidate, at least one leakage area doesn't exist in the code, and the top recommendation is the wrong pick. Detailed feedback per candidate. That is interesting, isn't it? I'm using the wrong key. Alright, we've got some feedback on your proposal. Let's yeah, see what you think of this. Oh, I've pasted it twice. Idiot. Do that. Oh good, another Stream Boost spammer. What a lovely time to be alive. Feedback catches real overstatement. I'm checking its 2 latent bug claims separately. Both depend on publication behavior. Right, let's finish reading. It's identified the right problem and proposed a questionable fix. Maybe I should be knocking it up to extra high. Huh. Yeah, fascinating, interesting. It was, yeah, we went to bed honestly when it was 1-1 and then we did check once or twice. Woke up this morning and saw that we did see the second goal. We didn't see the goal, we saw that it had been scored, but didn't wait for the end. But hey, nice, well done, good win. When's the Argentina game? Is it next week sometime? Is it Tuesday, Wednesday? Wednesday, I think, isn't it? 8 o'clock Wednesday, I think. Yeah, nice. Might actually watch that one. Because, you know, probably be the last match, because, yeah, chances of getting to the final, I don't know. We always fail, right? So it seems silly to be hopeful. Real, but not the top recommendation. Verbatim orchestration duplicated. Yeah, okay. Overstated. 2 of the diagram's 4 leaked steps are already deduped. Three accurate on every count. Yeah, oh, well, hope so. Sounds fun. Okay. Mostly agree with the feedback. Improves the proposal and changes my ranking. Schedule checks, yeah. Agreed that my diagram overstated caller knowledge. Already hides most of the check run. I'd revise the report accordingly, correct the diagrams. Okay, I'm gonna knock this up. Let's have a little bit more effort from you, buddy. Okay, update the doc. Doc with a K. This is Sol. This is 5.6. I'm finding it fine. No, it doesn't feel like night and day really, but it does the job. For a long time I've been using 5.5 instead of Opus and kind of preferred it, but did it, oh dear. So that's why I run everything on a Mac Mini with nothing I care about on it really. So all it's got on there is a bunch of code repos and no keys, no secrets, nothing. So if it blows everything up, I don't really care. Yeah. It's a funny old journey, isn't it? Going through the process of starting to use AI, checking every line of code it writes, approving every command it runs, and then you start clicking okay, I approve this type of command, run those without asking, and then it gradually just builds and builds and builds until you're running dangerously skip permissions on your own computer that you use for everything, and you think, nah, I can't be doing this. So then you try and build a sandbox, and you try and run the sandbox, and that has its own implications and problems, and still a risk that it could break out of the sandbox with the right stuff. So just put it somewhere where it can't hurt anything. I would just use a VPS, but the desktop app of Codex is really nice, and I need to build Mac stuff, so it has to be a Mac Mini really, which is great for Apple, less good for me. Oh yeah, nice. I'm running 3 computers now, because I've got my PC running for streaming, the Mac Mini running all the dev stuff, and the laptop for actually doing stuff. It's getting a bit ridiculous really, but that's what we do. You found a clearance M4, you must have been early to the game, right? Yeah, I've got an external capture card which mostly works, but sometimes a bit of a pain. It's nuts how things get more and more complicated. I'm now running, the microphone goes into the laptop and then loopback feeds that out to the capture card via HDMI. So Mac comes out over HDMI, I use the audio over HDMI, but the mic goes into the laptop, which is, I guess, kind of works. But it does mean I can't have a noise gate on just the vocal mic, which kind of sucks. But if I connect the mic to the PC, then I have to keep switching the mic back and forth between the laptop. When I'm streaming, it needs to be on the PC, and when I'm using my laptop for calls and stuff, it needs to be on the laptop. So just use the audio over HDMI and deal with the background noise. Oh, returned. Yeah, nice. That's a good way to do it. They have just put the prices up, which sucks. But the problem I have is I in a way, I kind of enjoy the configuration when it's straightforward. Although running the HDMI capture and video camera capture on the PC had USB issues, but it does seem to be working. So dodgy motherboard can't actually handle all the ports it's got, which is hilarious. Right, where are we at? Updated report. Let's view the updated report. Not there. Can we open it in the browser? Thank you. I don't want to look at your face, Theo. I'm sorry, no offense, but we updated the plan with your feedback. Very good feedback. Have a look now. Does it make sense? I wonder how where my Pi runner is at. I haven't even got it. Oh, there it is, number 12. Oh yeah, we've got all these plans, haven't we? This one. Purposely picked a motherboard with decent number of USB controllers. Yeah. Yeah, I got a USB PCIe card as well, and it didn't solve the problem, which I was pretty surprised about. I don't know what that's about. Oops. You're doing them all joined together to test which one works best. I don't know. I stopped looking into it once I've managed to get it working on the PC, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about it, to be honest. And once it started working, I just stopped looking at it and cracked on. Seems to be working now, but occasionally I'll change a setting and the camera will just freeze, and the only way to fix it is to unplug everything, close OBS, plug everything back in again, open OBS. No, I say that. That may not be the only way, but it's the only way I know how to fix it. And it's really annoying if you're mid-stream, so start streaming and don't touch anything. Let me copy that link. Oh, apparently we opened Copilot by accident. Oh, goodness me. Can you please just copy this? It's going to copy your name. And not... Okay, that's fine. I think this is basically exactly what I got. Hang on, let me just go and check my Amazon history. So I got this, which is actually just, yeah, probably way shitter. It's a fifth of the price. Yeah, I figured that I could use one controller on the motherboard and another one on the card. I guess that was my plan at the time, but I think it was quite a while ago when did I buy it? 2023, so yeah, just over 3 years ago. But anyway, so yeah, that was a waste of money. It didn't help. But yeah, it didn't, so I don't know what that was about. It didn't seem to matter which way around I did it. It didn't really help. Yeah, super annoying. And then I just found a way that it does work. I don't know why. But now that, like, yeah, who knows? Either way, it's working, so not worrying about it for now. To be honest, my motherboard is not a good motherboard. It was a pretty budget build for basic gaming stuff in lockdown, so yeah, this horrible thing, which has had a lot of problems actually. Fairly budget, I think. Of course, now I'm scared. Now it is working. I'm scared to update any firmware stuff to address it. Yeah. I just wanted to play Valheim, I think, at the time, whilst I was locked in at home. And it was at the time when graphics cards went nuts, so I got a 3070 for, I think I paid like 700 quid for it, which was not fun. And it's only got 8 gigs. Okay, so it got worse. Oh man, look at that. When did I actually buy the PC? February 2021. Okay, so it looks like actually I got one for 700 around here and then it doubled. Mental. Oh man, that's just madness. No way I would have done that. The 700 was just so painful. I thought about doing that. I did enable it and then I sat and listened to the fans going for a bit and I just turned it off. I'm not doing that. But the 3070 would only going to net me about £5 a day at most, so it didn't seem worth it. $2,250 each. Man. What's the how is a graphics card market doing these days? I can imagine with all the RAM issues it's actually not a good time to be buying cards, but this is really hard to read. But hey, looks like around about the same price as my 3070 ages ago. Yeah, okay, look at that, creeping up, painful. Fuck, they're over £3,000. Brutal. Yeah, that's brutal. Okay, so 5070 is about the price I paid for my 3070 4 years ago. 5 years ago. Ugh, something there thinking about. Screw it. Yeah, what was this? What did that say? I do have a Ryzen chip, so maybe it was something to do with that. Oh wow, they're still releasing updates for it. Oh, mine isn't the Wi-Fi model though. A GitHub repo bricked your motherboard. What happened there? 50 to 100 a day, not bad. Okay, yeah, that was worth it. Especially during that massive bull run in 2021. Yeah, I'm surprised they're still releasing updates for this. That's crazy. Yeah, that's wild. Huh. OpenRGB, open source. Oh no. Oh no. Just for the pretty lights as well, that's brutal. But hey, refund, no worries, no harm done. Well, except to the company's bottom line, I suppose, but I'm sure they'll live. Oh man, yeah, hardware's a nightmare. I used to build PCs when I started building PCs when I was a teenager, but I don't do it anymore. When I built this one in 2021, I hadn't bought PC parts for well over 10 years. It was quite fun putting it together though, I enjoyed it. Till the issues began, obviously. And then played Valheim for probably 6 months and then barely used it since. Now it's just a streaming box. And I don't even stream very much, so yeah, ridiculous. Yoda high-end motherboard, Gigabyte. Oh, I look, yeah, okay. Yeah. I've heard of, a friend of mine's got one of those, I think, the Aorus Extreme. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't do that because I've barely played any games in 4 or 5 years. Oh yeah, I was looking through Pocock's new Wayfinder. I don't know what he did there. Anyway, where did we get to? I'm not sure about going nuts on this, buddy. Editing your own operating manual, that sounds dangerous. Liquid cooling was a mistake. Oh, really? Ooh, yeah, okay, leaking. To be honest, that has always put me off going liquid because of that exact reason. So it always feels like, oh, putting water in your PC seems like a bad idea. But I mean, it's not water, is it? It's cooling liquid, but still. But the quietness is appealing, can't lie. Oh, painful. Did it brick it then? Waterfall in the GPU. It's a nightmare, especially if it's a $2,000 GPU. Oh, fair enough. I don't know what they put. What liquid is it? Is it like a non-conductive liquid? Yeah, I guess makes sense. It's less dangerous than it sounds. Right, anyway, okay, so we've got an HTML document that covers a lot of this stuff, but it still seems to imply that we're going to have 4 separate repos. The 4 separate repos are just different experiments on various aspects of the full proposal. So while we definitely want to build it modular, we don't want to update those 4 old ones, rather use them as inspiration for a new project that incorporates the best of all of them. Pull the bits that work in from each one and discard the bits that didn't work from each one, and optimize around the goals that we've been setting most recently in the Pi repo. The loop definitions that were defined seem pretty close, and the direction seems to make sense, but we still need to work out exactly where the limits are and how to define what looks like an MVP to get the core of the system in place so that we can test it and potentially dogfood it while we build it. So have a look at the HTML documentation that we've written so far, but with that in mind, and I think we should greenfield an entirely new project that uses the old 4 projects as inspiration. Does it need to run in Pi? It would be really nice if it ran in Pi, but also was compatible with a desktop app that runs locally. And obviously linear is a really nice way to do that, so that's good inspiration. How does that sound? Be brutal if you think that's stupid. GPUs was a pain. You have to take the boards out of their stock shell, apply thermal paste, cut up the thermal sheet things for all the parts you need to click control. Ooh, yeah. That sounds kind of stressful, honestly, especially on cards that cost you $4,500. What? Oh, we've got 2 open, fine. Now consistent with the code, the 2 claims it added beyond my feedback both check out on inspection, point by point. One remaining implementation caution for the constraints box on candidate 3, add reference time to memo identity, needs a granularity decision. I don't even know what add reference time to memo identity even means. Alright, looks like that's kind of passed the review with one caveat and a note for the implementation. Can you create some issues for this? Oh, Mac Pro desktop died as well. Crazy. Oh, hell yeah, man. I do all sorts of stupid things. Especially when I'm on a project that I'm not treating seriously. It's a curse. And I think it explains why some people claim that they're getting massive performance gains using AI and others claim they're not really seeing much performance gains, because actually a lot of the performance gains comes from just going, yeah, whatever, just do what you want, it's fine. Oh, it works, perfect, and not really properly vetting or testing anything. I don't know, man, it's a gamble, but I think a lot of people are banking on the fact that the models are just going to keep getting better and it won't matter, but I don't know, depends if the price comes down as well. While I'm working on certain like little side projects like this, I am guilty of not properly vetting things. It's true. But then for an app like this that just runs locally, oh, how am I that far behind? All right, let's try it. Yeah. But it's also doing stuff that I just simply would not have been able to do or wouldn't have even attempted to do. Like, this runs really fast now. It's GPT 5.6 sat for 10 hours on Friday, I think it was. I basically set it the goal of improving the performance, and it built a whole harness for testing performance of everything, methodically went through and tested every interaction, every layer of the stack. I wonder if I've still got the speed. I don't remember where the document was with the speed improvements. Is it in here? I don't know, I can't find it now, but improved like most things by like 50% and then some things by like 80% speed, and then just made the app feel so much snappier. It's brilliant. There's absolutely no way I would have been able to do that. Like now it's pretty. The only thing I don't like is these flickering a bit, but I like to do it with the keyboard. It's really fast now. It was really slow before, comparatively. Yeah, like giving it performance things and just saying, look, just test it. If it doesn't improve, put it back. If it doesn't make it faster, leave it how it was. If it does, then yeah, let's do that. Unless there's some other reason that we can't. Have I checked that code properly? Not really. It sat there for 10 hours doing it. Like, a lot of that was waiting for things to run and the tests would hang on occasion because certain things wouldn't work, and so, you know, it would sit there for 10 minutes waiting. But it was nice to just let it run and then come back the next day and it was like loads quicker. That sort of stuff, excuse me, really is still quite exciting even after all this time. But yeah, when I went to a conference in February and was speaking to some people who still working at fairly big organizations where the engineering isn't really the point of the organization makes good money. I think a friend of mine works at a holiday park basically, and they run the checkout system and all the booking stuff, and they turn over millions and millions every year. If you deploy some mistake there, you could literally cost the company thousands, tens of thousands in a single day of mistakes. So they still have to do all of the stuff to verify that what they're doing is correct. They still have to own the code. The speed gains just aren't there in that sort of environment, not in the same way. Sure, you can use it for things around the code, but actually trusting it to do big changes in the code is real risky. Whereas for something like this, where literally the only user is me so far, it's fine. I'm just getting it done. Each second of day, yeah, exactly. Like when it's just constant, and you deploy and it's a break, and someone's halfway through the checkout flow. Like what? Yeah, what are you supposed to do there? It's a different ball game. So yeah, people setting up the whole dark software factories thing. I don't know, maybe there's a limit to that. I mean, almost certainly there's a limit to that, and the limit is the risk to losing your income if you make a silly mistake, right? It's like, well, all well and good releasing 10 apps that seem to work on the surface, but then if someone comes to depend on those apps for their business, you've got to run things in a slightly different way, haven't you? You can't just keep throwing stuff out there, and when there's a problem, expect no one to worry, like complain about that. It's a good way to lose trust overnight. Yeah, cloning the website, yeah. Yeah. That app cloning is a whole thing now, isn't it? Everyone's just going, well, we'll just make our own version. But I had a friend of mine who is like a marketer guy, and he keeps hitting me up going, that old startup you used to work at, it's going to go out of business soon. I can clone their app in like a day. I'm like, no, you can't. You actually can't. I worked there for 6 years. We built that system over years and years. Yes, we didn't have AI at the time, but I guarantee you're not cloning that app in a day. It's not happening. You're not cloning that app in a week. I know how it works because I built it brick by brick, and I can't clone it in a week, you know? Like, people assume that the surface layer is 90% of the work, but of course, it's just far from the truth in any substantial system. I'm like, oh, go on then. Go and get Claude to clone you a streaming setup with variable bit rates and everything else. Like, it will do it, but you aren't going to be doing it in a week. Figuring out how to do all the authentication stuff and lock down your live streams, but still allow all the bitrate adjustments to happen. Like, it's not as easy as it looks. Yes, you can clone the website, but you can't clone the system. So it sends AI down the wrong rabbit holes if they attempt to reverse engineer it. Interesting. So basically just kind of prompt inject it. But then I'd be like, well, yeah, maybe, as long as I don't say, hey, look out, there'll be prompt injection stuff in the code. Make sure you filter out those first and use some adversarial reviews, get 2 agents on it. It'd be an interesting experiment to run to see if you can make something that can misdirect it, even when they know that you're being adversarial on purpose. I mean, I imagine people are testing this stuff all the time, but that stuff I do find fun. I'll fake my user agent. Or I'll I'll just get Claude to drive Chrome. The GPT computer use is really good these days. It'd be a fun experiment to try though. Yeah, for sure. And most people won't, of course, know anything about that. And if you hadn't told me, I wouldn't know. If you said, oh, see if you can clone my website, I'm not going to be like, oh, watch out for prompt injection stuff, I guess. And I guess someone who knows enough to do that is probably going to be able to just read the code and copy it anyway, to some extent. What is the time? 4:25 already, fuck. Oh man, went to the allotment yesterday and the rabbits the rabbits have eaten all of my green beans, which I'm really annoyed about. So we spent the whole time making fences and blocking holes and trying to keep them out, but of course those little buggers can dig, can't they? So they didn't eat anything else. There's loads of stuff they don't like, but the beans obliterated, completely gone. Well, there's like a little stalk, one little stalk remaining, so I'm like putting a little bit of water on it, going like, well, maybe it'll be able to recover, but it hasn't got any leaves, so it's probably not going to recover. Yeah, that was a bit upsetting. Thinking about hooking up Cloak browser to an MCP agent. Oh, I haven't heard of Cloak. Interesting. What, so it gives you the Playwright API on top of a less detectable Chrome instance? Can you not do that with Playwright anyway? Interesting. I mean, obviously not, or it wouldn't exist. But... Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Mouse curves thing is cool. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Start that. "66 fingerprint patches." Well, isn't that cool? Or not, depending on how you feel about getting all your stuff bypassed. Interesting indeed. How do you keep track of stuff like this when you see it? Because I've starred it, I won't go back and look at my stars and remember it. When I need something like this, I'm going to forget. What do you do with that? Do you just bookmark stuff and then hope you remember? Or do you have a system? Haha. Nice. Okay, that's pretty cool. But now where do I save this? It's like chicken and egg. Where is it? Run it again. Fix the onboarding coach mark overlap. Coach marks now sit outside the system settings. Oh, be right back. My phone's ringing.
All right, we are back. What's going on? Can we test something? I want to see if you add Cloak Browser, if it will update on my, on my screen in real time. Whole comparison, bookmarking this one. Let's have a look. Oh, this site you mean? Does look like on doing a quick star scan that Cloak Browser comes out pretty well. And again, looks like Cloak Browser comes out pretty well. Can anyone do the Akamai? Huh, interesting. Don't worry about the update thing. Okay, fair. Yeah. I can only imagine that this stuff is going wild at the moment, with everyone copying it as much as they can. This is neat though. There's probably loads of stuff in here I haven't seen. I've switched to drinking only 0% beer and realised that I didn't like alcohol, just liked having a nice cold beer on a hot day. And it's cool because you can have as many as you want and you don't get drunk or get stupid. I like it. So yeah, in case anyone thinks I've been sitting here just getting progressively drunker and drunker, I'm actually as sober as it comes. I've tried kombucha. I didn't really like it, honestly, but maybe I should try it again. But I haven't had any alcohol for, I don't know, like 5 weeks now. And I realised I didn't really miss it. Funny that. Oh, nice. Yeah. At our conference a couple of, maybe 4 years ago, we had a woman come over from the US to talk, and it was about making kombucha. It was quite fascinating. Can't remember her name. Maybe I can't find it. No, that was obviously the year the video cameras didn't work properly. Momo kombucha. Alright, I'll try it again. I'll get some and try it again. Natura. A taste of sunshine. Yeah, it's supposed to be extremely good for you as well, whereas I know this stuff isn't exactly good for me. There's no alcohol, so it's not strictly bad for me, but... Okay, not more than 0.05% alcohol. Which is negligible, isn't it? But I do love a cold beer. I've tried the Asahi, I think that was quite good. The, what's it called? Saint? Was it, Little Saint, maybe? Something Saint. It was quite nice. But it turns out I can't really tell. I didn't really like lager as much as such. But it was always nice on a sunny day. But actually, the Corona Zero is quite nice, weirdly. I can't really tell the difference between that and an alcoholic one. I didn't like the alcoholic one anyway, really, but yeah. I quite like not drinking. Well, not drinking alcohol, obviously. Right, what the hell am I doing? All sorts of random things and getting nowhere. App built successfully. Is it running though? that's hovering over everything. Did I bitch it out? Oh right, wrong side. Okay, copy that. What are you up to, Find? There's this bun process that's been there using 6% CPU for ages. I have no idea what it's doing. Sour smoothie beers, Untapped. Ah, nice. Yeah, my girlfriend's brother is a head brewer at a local brewery, so there's always beer about at their house, or at the parents' house anyway. So every time there's an event like Christmas or birthdays or barbecues or whatever, there's just like boxes and boxes of free beer. It's dangerous. But yeah, I used to be super skinny, and then I started drinking too much beer and put on about 15 kilos. Kind of crazy. Now I'm still skinny, but I've got a massive belly. So that's fun to try and work off now. Like fat and skinny at the same time. And it's all the wrong kind of fat as well. Like it's this kind of fat that's really bad for you. Oh man, I've been getting back into weights and pull-ups and push-ups and stuff. I've got a weight bench behind me, but just today I fucked my shoulder. I didn't warm up and just jumped on the pull-up bar, and now my shoulder's fucked. So I'm hoping in a couple of days it'll be better, but because I'm so much heavier now and my body's just not used to the extra weight. It really sucks. I should be more careful, but I got cocky. I've been doing it for a while and I was like, yeah, this is brilliant. Like, it's actually easy. I'm getting back into the flow of it. And then, fuck. And now I can barely lift my shoulder up. Yeah, it's really annoying. It really sucks. Like, I've got a physio appointment in a couple of weeks about my ankle. Like, it's the same fucking thing. I guess it's just getting old. Like, I took up running. I got really into running and now my ankle's fucked. Well, that was a few years ago and it's still isn't quite right and I can't run, so nightmare. It's like I get into the exercise and then my body just goes, nah mate, nah, I ain't doing that. Yes, I think I saw you streaming Beat Saber one day. I did love that game. There's only two things. I've got a Oculus Quest 2 here, and the only two games that I actually liked was Beat Saber and Half-Life Alyx 2. Half-Life Alyx, which is the only game on that thing I've actually completed. But I had to run it on the PC, so it was just a strapping a monitor to your face, basically. But I enjoyed it a lot. It was good fun. I did not set up the Beat Saber mods, no. Don't tell me about that, because I promised my dad I'd lend it to him at the weekend or yesterday, so I won't have it as of next Saturday. Because it's been sitting down there for months. I think I plugged it in once and did some Beat Saber. Turns out I was crap. Codex versus Claude. I don't know with the latest ones, honestly. I preferred GPT 5.5 over Opus, and so I switched entirely to OpenAI stuff. Then Fable came out, and Fable was clearly the best. I haven't been working with 5.6 Sol long enough to know how it competes with Fable. However, I did just get Fable to review a bunch of Sol on high stuff, and it found a lot of issues. But that usually works both ways. So I honestly, for anything important, I use both. I play them off against each other. And one of the projects I'm working on is a better loop system, so I don't have to keep copying and pasting feedback between the two, because the different lineages have different strengths and weaknesses, it seems. So I'll get one to write a plan, get the other to review it, and then get the first one to make those amends, and maybe do that 2 times, maybe 3, if it's a gnarly project. And the same with implementation. So in a way, at this point, I'm using both almost for anything important. I'm using GPT at the moment because, to be honest, I really like the desktop app. I know that's somewhat controversial, but I'm getting so annoyed with the terminal for this stuff. Just simple things like copying stuff is annoying. And don't get me wrong, I've lived in the terminal for years. You know, it's not like I don't like the terminal, but for AI stuff, I just end up with a mess like this, and I have no idea what I was working on or why. It's kind of nuts. I kind of grew out of Cursor. I think you can do what you want to do with either of them, really, as long as you're diligent about making sure it works and actually does what you want. But I think it's worth trying both. You should use both and be familiar, because they do feel different. It's hard to explain, but they communicate differently, they work differently. But my recommendation for everyone at the moment is to use both and play them off against each other, because the outcome is often much better. So that's what I do these days. And I did automate it with this PyRunner thing, such that I would get one to build, one to review, the other to implement the fixes, and that loop 2 or 3 times before it even said anything to me. Yeah, I think that there was someone did a study about the harnesses, I think, and Cursor's harness did come out on top, and the Claude Code harness came out at the bottom. And there's something to be said about how much better the OpenAI software is than the Anthropic software, especially the desktop stuff. The Claude desktop app is fine, but compared to the Codex app, it's not competitive, in my opinion. Well, it still works fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but just out of preference, I tend to lean on Codex more. And the cool thing about Codex is the remote stuff, like the setting up, like all of these projects running on the Mac, on the dev box, and then it automatically works on your phone. It's really nice, and you don't have to remember to enable remote control and all that stuff. Once you've set up the connections, it just works. The thing about the Markdown files, if you mean skills and stuff, you can set it up so that you have a global repository of your skills and then just symlink them. I think that's what I do. I got the same skills in both. Mostly. Oh, if it's just Markdown files in the repo, then that should work fine. Depends what you mean by tools, but yeah, if it's just Markdown files, then that's fine. They'll both work fine. But yeah, I think Cursor's really... I used Cursor last year for a lot of stuff. It was great. That was during the transition when I had VS Code and was using the plugins for OpenAI or Anthropic stuff, and then Cursor came out. It was fucking brilliant. Oh, I see what you mean about the memory stuff. Yeah. I think OpenAI is a bit cheaper, and they've reset my limits like 3 times this week already, and I've still got some resets available. So I've got 3 resets here. So it resets on the 18th. When does my reset expire? On the 18th. So like basically over the next 4 or 5 days, I need to use up my entirety and then use this reset before the 18th. I've got loads more, and I only have the $100 plan for OpenAI, and I rarely run out. Whereas Fable obviously is much more heavily restricted. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of those internal Claude memory Markdown files, to be honest. I wish it would put them in the project rather than in its directory in the home, in like your home folder, in your home directory. It feels like it's sort of deliberately hiding it away so that it has an advantage over other agents, and I don't enjoy that. And in fact, now you mention it, I'm tempted to make something that automatically detects that those files have changed and copies them to a more universally accessible place. Anthropic strikes me as very much like the Apple of AI in a way, except in the UI UX point. So like all of the negatives of Apple, like trying to lock you in to their walled garden and not let you move freely. And it makes sense because that's how they're going to secure their customer base. But it does leave a bit of a bad taste when they seem to make decisions deliberately to kind of lock you into their way of doing things and not let you easily move between the two. And that makes me favour OpenAI because they do seem a lot more open about stuff. I don't know if they have an equivalent memory thing, to be honest, where they hide it in their own private directory. Maybe they do, and I just haven't noticed because it doesn't tell me. But I think the way to do all of this stuff, I mean, this is the thing, right? T3 code isn't quite up to the standard of the Codex app yet, but I do like the idea of having an open source app that allows me to use whatever model I choose in whatever way I want and prevent me being locked into one provider, because being locked into one provider is just obviously a really bad idea, and puts you at the mercy of whatever decisions that they make. And if you can't easily and quickly move to get your work done, then that's bad. You're going to have a bad time. Yeah. Well, that's another thing, right? Anthropic locks you from using stuff. So I've built a bunch of stuff with the PyAgent, and it was calling out to the Claude CLI to do Claude stuff. And then Anthropic came out and were like, oh, we're going to make it so that you can't use the Claude-P CLI command with your subscription. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, that means my PyAgent runner stuff is dead in the water because I can't use Claude with it anymore. And then they were supposed to make that change on the 15th of June, which is nearly a month ago now. But when 15th of June rolled around, they went, oh, actually, no, we're not going to do that. So it's annoying because I abandoned that project because of those changes they made, and then they didn't make the change. And it just is another example of why being agnostic is good, but they want to lock you in. But ultimately, it made it so that if you're going to lock it so that I can't do that, you won't be part of my workflow. Simple. If you don't want to be in my workflow, then I won't use you and I won't subscribe to you. So I cancelled my subscription for a few weeks, and it wasn't until Fable came back that I resubscribed. And then, of course, they took Fable away because the government was like, oh, it's too dangerous. And now, of course, I'm back on Fable, and I use it because it is really good. And they didn't make that change to the CLI, so now I'm back on the PyRunner, and hopefully we'll get the PyRunner working again. But yeah, also loads of other ideas, like 4 other repos that I'm now pulling together into this one, which is what we're working on here. I'm building too many things. I don't have any focus at the moment. The one thing I've built is this, which is just a domain tracker thing for making sure you don't lose your domains, because I've lost a lot of domains. So yeah. And I wasn't a Swift developer until a few months back, and I'm still not a Swift developer, but I do have a Swift app, so crazy times. So what does it say? Maybe if I zoom in a bit, people can read it. No, this is Claude. This is Claude. I am not actually running Pi at the moment, but I do have a PyRunner thing. I don't even know if it works anymore. Let's see. Yeah, it's still there. Do we have our custom commands? Yeah, I had a custom dashboard and all sorts. But I can't remember how to use it because I haven't used it for a month. No, like all these stuff, yeah, it's awk for orchestra, so like the loop on a plan. I don't remember. I think probably we made some really stupid decisions, but let me see if I can get it to explain. Hang on. The commands to test it and demo the features. There we go. Oh, we're still on 5.5. Hang on. Oh, whoops. Actually, we probably need to update it. So let's try. Yeah. Whoa. So you can see how long it's been since I've used Pi, but let's get Sol on the case. That's an odd ordering. Oh, it's alphabetical, fine. No, it's not. Wait, what? Oh, now it's the top because I selected it, but 5.5 L. Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. Can you remind me how to use this project and what it does and how it works? Give me the commands and show me how to use it. Something like that. I don't know. So I started this back in March because it seemed like, oh, I need these loops to run and do the models together. And here we are in June, and everyone's talking about loop engineering. I'm like, oh yeah, I was doing that ages ago, but I kind of stopped for some reason. But I tend to end up sitting here just copy and pasting stuff between models, which is obviously a waste of time. Alright, we'll let that run. Where were we? 19. Right, what was my prompt? I can never remember what I've said. I've got so many things going on and I need to really focus. But it's another reason why I keep building apps that give me more context, because every time I come back to a CLI and it's like, okay, all done. what's all done. And now they've added the recap. It's slightly better, but it still doesn't really give me enough context to know what's going on. So strategy for consolidating the Guildgood PyRunner into one Greenfield agent platform monorepo is documented across 5 published HTML docs, all current, apparently. Next, start the new repos M0 freeze contracts. Yeah, but we've been talking about how some of those docs are not correct and are not what we want to do. Do we have a plan for consolidating the best out of each into one universal approach? Ideally, it would work in Pi as well as a desktop GUI. I might have already asked that question over here. I don't remember. Oops. No, that's completely unrelated. It's pretty quick. Let's see what we've got. Ungate ORCID files. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, interesting. So yeah, that would be against the Claude terms of service, but I don't think it's against the ChatGPT terms. Seems like ChatGPT is actually quite happy for you to use their models and APIs on the subscription in other harnesses, whereas Anthropic is very much not happy about that. I haven't recently heard about people getting banned though, and I'm fairly sure a lot of people are still doing that. But yeah, you used to be able to use your Claude subscription with Pi, but they started banning people. And so we all switched to using the Claude-P CLI, which used the subscription, but didn't give you the same sort of feedback and wasn't a repromptable loop, but you could still run the CLI, get the response, and then run another command, get the response, as long as you had a harness above it. And because they never did actually prevent people using Claude-P on the subscription, at least I don't think they did, it now is actually feasible to do this again. So maybe I should revisit. Why have we got double? Okay, can we just do... see, look, Pi isn't perfect either. Like if you resize, it just gets all fucked up. Why have I got two? Okay, maybe that's why. No, it just gets messed up. What are you going to do? You can technically use the Anthropic API directly with your Claude Code session token as long as you include the strings in the prompt saying it's Claude Code. Yeah. And I remember at the time, like it seemed like they were trying to enforce it with really crude mechanisms. Like, oh, if your prompt contains certain keywords, then we block you. It's like, well, okay, I'll just put those keywords in then. Yeah. But I guess it blocked a lot of people who weren't thinking too deeply about it and just... But it does play into the whole Anthropic doesn't want you to be having much control over how you use it. They want to own the interface. And you can understand why, because if you can easily, if all of your workflows are tied to their interface, you're kind of locked to Anthropic. Although, of course, today I saw Theo tweeted about exactly that, where there's a proxy, so you can use Sol in the Claude Code harness. So that gets you the best of, as long as you like the Claude Code CLI, you can use both models in the same UI. So that actually might be the best thing to do for someone who wants to try OpenAI models but doesn't want to lose all their Claude stuff. However, maybe the model... No, actually it's probably in the harness prompts, isn't it, to use the memory stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. So maybe that's the way to go. The easiest way to test out the OpenAI stuff is just to proxy it into Claude Code, and then you keep all your memory and keep all your skills and everything set up without any messing about. And OpenAI are a lot more lenient about that, it seems. All right, so we've worked through it. What have we got? What this project does. PyRunner is an orchestration layer and extension bundle for Pi. Its main workflow is write slices locked requirements, Claude drafts plan, Codex reviews the plan, Claude revises until it's approved or the round limit is reached. The limit is 3 currently. Execution loop implements approved plans, runs verification, reviews the implementation, and revises as needed. And that's the simple loop. And that just saves a lot of time. Getting one guy to write the plan and then copy and paste it to the other guy. Can you review the plan? And then he gives some feedback and you copy and paste that back to the other guy and he updates the plan. And you say, does this implement all your feedback? And he goes, yes, it does nearly, but missed this bit. And I've noticed this new thing. And you give that back and you're just basically a copy and paste monkey. So did the CL, like this is to save that. And so instead of coming back and saying, hey, I'm done, you're like, can you check if this guy's done? It's like, he's not done. You go, hey, you're not done. He goes, oh yeah, I wasn't done, sorry. And that's really tedious. Instead, it's like, you guys work this out amongst yourselves. Let me know when you're both happy, and then I'll come and see if it's what I wanted. Of course, the danger there is you use way too many tokens going down the wrong route, so you need a way to spot check it as you go, I guess. But it's all good fun, isn't it, this new way of working? You are Claude Code, Anthropic's official CLI for Claude. And if I was OpenAI, I'd be like, sure, happy to pretend, if you like. But it's interesting because I guess OpenAI was kind of the underdog for a little while when Claude Code really blew up over Christmas. So the tactics of them being open was very much to get people back to their side. And they are being quite strategic about it. I mean, it'd be interesting because we're supposed to lose access to Fable again today, right? So what will be interesting is if they actually turn it off. Because if they turn it off, everyone's going to go and use GPT 5.6 and start figuring out how to move their workflow into the OpenAI tools instead. So yeah, it's interesting to see how that'll play out. Like after the last time, I half expect them to just say, yeah, okay, you can keep it. But who knows, we'll see. So I need to run install if I want to actually use it, but we've got the stuff in here. So let's type harness, let's see what happens. Okay, so we've got no state JSON. So that's the other thing it does. It manages the phases and has a state file such that you have to meet certain criteria and you have to approve that the verification is passed before it can move on. So you don't end up with a lot of stuff based off a mistake that was made in the past, which is quite handy too. Does the agents command work? No. Oh, there we go. That's a bit more like it. It's been a while. I don't really remember how it works. What have we got? Yeah. Oh, that's the same thing. So if we wanted to test this out visually so I can see it working, we would run a plan. Okay, let me just try a new plan, see what happens. I don't have a slice number. How do I get the slice number? Can you remind me? Let's have a look at the docs. Can you set that up and run it for me? Oh, wrong one. Set that up and run it for me. Right. Just so we're clear, non-alcoholic beer. I don't drink anymore. Why are you running a bun install? New generations have lower, yeah, I think that's true. I remember seeing a thing a while back that all of it comes down to being afraid of being photographed on social media rather than health. I thought that was a funny theory. Like, go out and get drunk, look ridiculous, someone posts a picture of it on social media and it's there forever. But yeah, there's a big health element to it too as well, I guess. Okay, so there it is, it's running the loop plan, the plan loop. It doesn't look like much, but I wonder if we go here, no. I don't know, we'll see. One of the downsides of doing it this way is you lose the like real-time scrolling feedback, but actually I think that's not necessarily a bad thing, because although it feels fun to watch the code flying by, it's not actually useful. It's not a useful use of time, really. Sometimes you can catch things, but more often than not, it's just a waste of time. So I'm around a real local login plan loop for the visual test thing. So let's have a look what's in there. So, oh, what? Oh, I can't see them in search because they are hidden files. I need to fix that. Create a small plan that demonstrates the plan review and revision loop in PyRunner. Okay, so that does that. It writes a plan. Here's the plan. Codex then will have reviewed the plan and given that back to Claude with approval criteria, which are all checked off now. So the plan is approved by both agents. There you go, job done. And that's the nice thing about it. It just kind of does, you get better plans because you've had two pairs of eyes looking at it. And then one of the things I'd like to do is add a third model for the really gnarly stuff, because the lineages of the models seem to find different things. If you ask Claude to review Claude's work, he often will make the same mistake as the original one, or just miss the error. But if GPT reviews Claude's work, or vice versa, they often, almost always, find really important P0, P1 bugs, issues, problems, misaligned things, like mistakes, oversights, edge cases that weren't dealt with. They both call each other out all the time. And although it takes a bit longer to do that little loop, the outcome's often better. And then you do the same on the implementation. So you'll run the implementation, review review the implementation, update the implementation, review it again, and once the benchmark is met and approved by both agents, the outcome is usually better. Do we have what is the I've forgotten the shortcut. Shift H? Oh. There we go. We've got state MD, but not a state JSON. So this must be quite old. Yeah, so this was May, beginning of May. AAA game engine trick called interior mapping, where you can render a room inside a window, like the side of a building, that looks 3D, but is actually just a couple of textures. Huh, that sounds pretty fun. I do enjoy visual illusions like that. It's gone again. Oh yeah, and then it does a summary of the of what happened, and tells you the evidence of the verification, the revisions after the implementation was reviewed. Follow-up implementation review found the first pass was fixture green but incomplete against plan 1. And that's the sort of thing that you'll find probably 80% of the time with anything built with agents. You get another agent to look at it and it'll go, oh yeah, first pass was fixture green, like all the tests passed, everything we expected to work kind of worked, but there's this massive hole in it where it doesn't do the thing, or this isn't connected correctly to this thing. And that happens all the time. So it's essential, if you're not reviewing the code yourself, you have to get another agent to review it. And of course that agent's prone to mistakes as well, so you have to do it on a case by case. Like, is it important architectural work? You're going to have to do that yourself, but if you've had two agents already fight it out, often the thing that you review will be better first time around than the original single agent implementation. At least so far, that's what I've found. But since I've moved to Codex, I've been really, really lazy and I haven't been getting Claude to review. And now here I am, even though I've got this repo that's like, probably 50% towards having this flow worked out. And I'm back to doing what I've been doing today, which is doing it with the Codex app, or ChatGPT Codex now, and copy and pasting it into Claude manually, which is obviously not very efficient. Oops, didn't mean to do that. No, not that one. Where are we? Here. I make mistakes too. Yeah, that's always something that's always amused me about people who say, oh no, AI is never going to replace me. It writes code with too many bugs. I'm like, yeah, so do I. I've written loads of bugs. I've put loads of bugs in production, and actually most of them, no problem, didn't really matter. Some of them did, obviously, but most of the time, not a huge problem. And that was last year. The new models I'd almost bet make fewer mistakes than I do at this point, and they do it 10 times faster. So what are you going to do? So, for the Speakeasy app now, we've apparently got a tool. Make setup dev cert. Trust Speakeasy dev when prompted. Make fresh onboarding. This rebuilds a stable signed app at nice in the root of the project. Wipes TCC permissions, which I guess is the Apple stuff. What does TCC stand for in this context? Another reason why, like the by the way stuff in Claude Code is so much less useful than the side chat in Codex. Transparency, consent, and control. Defaults, app data, recordings, caches, logs, and licensing keychain entries, then launches it. For the existing orphaned input monitoring row, confirm global CCUs, make one fresh onboarding. That also resets accessibility, input monitoring, and microphone for every app. The only supported way to clear unidentified path-based TCC entries. Ouch. So that also resets accessibility for every app. I wonder whether there's anything on the machine that I need to worry about that with. Who knows? All right, well let's just try it. This is the joy of having a dev box, because now if it screws stuff up, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, bring it to the web, man. That sounds pretty fun. Did we talk the other day about the gallery stuff? So this would be great for the gallery stuff you were talking about. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, let's try this. See what happens. He opens another another terminal window. There goes number 20. All right, so let's I'm going to just run this and see what happens. What? We are local, aren't we? What branch are we on? Oh, okay. I mean, was it Sparkle? Oops. No, copy it. Can I copy it from here? No. What is it then? Beat, Sparkle, Lemon Squeezy, what have I done? That is it, isn't it? Oh wait. Duh. No? What the hell? You can tell I haven't manually done any Git for ages. I just get the agent to do it all because I don't remember how to change branch. It is checkout, isn't it? Oh dear, I need to clean up. Look at the state of that. You wouldn't do that if I was still coding manually. Okay, that was the command. What the hell did I write up here then? Weird. I don't know what happened there. Right, give me this. Yeah, I know, I'm an idiot. Thanks. Aha! Yeah, right. Same issue, mate. You say that, but I changed branch and it still isn't doing it. Oh, I'm in the wrong frickin' project. Idiot. So you see, I'm the idiot here, not the AI. Not lemon either. Goodness me. There we go. Right, try that. Third time lucky. Which one is it? Make sure we get the right one. First. Yeah, it's like, dude, move to the right directory, please. Make it a lot easier. Oh dear. Right. Okay. You must trust the certificate. I'm going to move that over there. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to open my keychain on stream because I don't know what will happen. So, come back. Oh shit. So hard to get it. I've got Synergy running off the top of the screen to move over to the PC, and it means I've only got about 1 pixel at the top to open to get the full screen window. Does anyone know the shortcut to? Yes, there we go. Right, keychain. No, come on, let's go. What is happening? It won't open. Oh, there we go. Right, where's the terminal with the instructions gone? Open keychain, command space, type keychain, yeah, I did that. Select login keychain on the left. I'll have to type in the password. There isn't, oh yeah, there is login. Find Speakeasy Dev certificate. It doesn't exist. There is a new one from 2 hours ago called Telephony Utilities. What the hell is that? Oh yeah, I was in the wrong project. I'm the idiot. I don't see the Speakeasy dev key in the keychain, the login keychain. Although it did run correctly this time. Does it say about creating the key first up here? Oh, and then it says warning, certificate not found. Fixing the certificate export for the keychain compatibility. Making it stop instead of claiming success. And isn't that just exactly the sort of thing that you miss? It goes, oh yeah, that's totally done. You should run the script. And you run the script and it says success, but actually tucked away in there is the whole, oh yeah, no, it wasn't a success. All right, let's try that again. Log in my certificates. There it is. Okay, I think we're probably safe to bring this. Oh, that is the private key though. Maybe just keep that secret for a minute. double click it. All right, I double clicked it, mate. Yeah, it's giving you the serial number and all sorts. I don't know if any of it really matters because it's a dev certificate, but expand the trust section. Set code signing to always trust, my favorite. Okay. Close and enter password. Yep. Typed it wrong. Works. Fixed version no longer print certificates. Run the node checkout explicitly. Get revive the password. Do I need to do that? Fine. Okay, second time lucky. Hey. That is the commit. Already exists. Should now report the speakers as dev. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so where are the commands? Hey, we're off. Buy one, get one free on Uber Eats. Ooh, nice. I mean, on a day like this, a cold beer is nice. And an alcohol-free cold beer is just as nice. And you don't dehydrate yourself. It's genius. Error 2. Helpful. Error 1, error 2. Found 3 files which are unhandled. Explicitly declare them as resources or exclude them from the target. So for this app, we have some build and packaging issues where we originally made it with Make and didn't include any of the usual build stuff. I don't think there's an Xcode project. And the app was built as just a menu item app. Is that likely to be causing these issues? Another thing I've given up is food delivery apps, because I was spending far too much money on those things. So now if I find myself in a situation where I don't have any food in the house, I force myself to eat pasta, or I force myself to eat Huel, which, funnily enough, sends me down the supermarket pretty quick quite often. Yeah, I tried those as well for a bit. I am lazy. I am really lazy when it comes to cooking, can't lie. Repo does have both an Xcode project workspace and a Swift PM build. The make file is manually assembling the app, which explains the resource warnings and makes signing more fragile. I'm using the signing failure as the exact repro, checking the certificate private key access. The imported private key is not authorized for non-interactive code sign. Signing the init executable should fail with the same. Deepest try, okay. Oh look, I wonder what that's all about. That confirms the manual make packaging is a real problem. Funny that. Which meal prep sub did you try? I tried a couple of them. I can't remember the name. Like years ago, I did Gusto and HelloFresh, and in the early days they were good. But they just got worse and worse and worse until one day I just got a load of moldy limes and was just like, I'm not paying money for moldy limes, man. Yeah, those are ingredient kits. And then I tried some really bad one and a good one. What was the bad one? I think it was called Lion's Prep or something, and that wasn't great, but there was a good one. But yeah, I fucked that up as well, because one day I had a box delivered and I wasn't at home, and it just sat outside in the sun and was ruined really quickly, so that put an end to that as well. And the delivery days often weren't flexible enough. Like often at the time I was away all the weekend, or I'd be away every other weekend from like Friday to Monday, and they would only deliver on Sunday or Wednesday. So if they delivered on Wednesday, I would only get Wednesday and Thursday meals, and then I'd be away for the weekend and they'd go out of date. And I was never there on Sunday to get the Sunday delivery. So I was like, can you not do a Monday delivery? Because if it's a Monday, I'd eat all week and then be fine. But yeah, so I had to give that up too. Prep Kitchen, yeah, nice. Perhaps I'll give it a try. Simmer, I tried them. That was not good. But it's funny that they're using the Prep by the Best Kitchen keyword to get the Prep Kitchen search. Let's have a look at the menus. All of the above? Can I all of the above? Oh, you can. Pretty much everything. I don't know, start with 1. Start with 4. Probably prefer 3, to be honest. That's cheaper than I was expecting, actually. What? Is it actually that cheap? Oh, 50% off. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Oh no, it actually is. What the hell? That's not 50% though, is it? Not even close. Yeah, Simmer was a letdown. Well, now I'm hungry. I don't like this UI. What's going on here? How do I... Oh, yeah. That's right. I think Simmer was the rebrand of Lion's Prep. Yeah, I think that's what happened. And they changed the name, I think, because they got such bad reviews on their original name, and then just continued to get bad reviews on the new name. Thrive. You're right. You're right. It was. I tried that one as well. Man, I'm so hungry now. I'd eat anything. Right, enough. Stop looking at food. Yeah, I might try that later. What's this? Oh yeah, the cursor thing. Oh, excuse me. Momo. Oh, all the shops will be shut now, so I won't be able to get some. Ooh, thanks. Yeah, I'll try it. Can I open that tab again? Oh, can I add another? Error 2, what the hell? Yeah. Oh, I didn't copy it from the Windows. Oh, funny. Command C on Windows opens Copilot. That explains how that keeps happening. Control C instead. I guess I can't paste that in there. Oh, wait. It did go down a bit, didn't it? Another couple of quid. 60% off my first box. Nice. I mean, it's worth having. Hopefully you get some cash too. Yeah, makes sense. Oh, I haven't actually chosen, have I? Let me note that down somewhere. Not there. Okay, there we go. I can bring that back. So we've done exactly none of these. Oh, actually, no, that's done. That's not done because I can't do keys on stream. Don't really think MCP is appropriate for this or this. Not really. And supporting .eth domains probably is the next thing that we could do in the domain tracker after this. But we've got so many issues to work through on that I perhaps ought to just calm it down a bit. Stopped using Raycast, but I kind of miss it for quick access to PRs and stuff. Can you do it with Alfred? Sounds kind of useful. Overkill though. Oh, we don't have any tunes on. Portfolio freshness scopes time correct. One production use portfolio scope module for membership, explicit reference time in memory identity, test for clock advancement, updated performance harness, optimized production management. I don't actually understand what that means. Centralized cascade notification effect handling. Yeah, we don't want 3 handlers. Where are we at on this? We don't really want to pollute the Sparkle squeezy branch. Is this this is merged though, isn't it? Sounds fine. Commit these docs and get us back on main. hot is it out there? That's not too bad. And make sure the sparkle branch is up too. What happened there? Oh no, it's... Oh, it's in the wrong browser. This one, mate. Oh, wrong browser again. Those are enhancements too, buddy. No, they're not. They're fixes, aren't they? Much better. Right, I need a quick break. What can we leave running? We need to clean up some of these orphan branches. Can you delete any branches that have already been merged to main? There you go, I'm gonna take a quick break for 2 minutes and you can watch it delete all my work in progress branches if you want. So have fun, back in a sec. Alrighty, where are we at? Yeah, what a messy situation. Nice. What? Oh, it's a lot better anyway. Are there any branches that are stale that have been superseded by later on work? God, my shoulder is killing me. Err on the side of not deleting anything we might need. Hey, the reset worked, that's cool. Hey, it's fixed the transparency issues as well, that's neat. Turn on speakeasy and accessibility, nice. Okay. Hey, it works. Everything outside speakeasy. It's where is it? During the onboarding, when it says to enable input monitoring, it has hard-coded FN instead of the selected shortcut that the user chose in the previous step. Could you make it so that that shows the shortcut that you actually chose? That the user actually chose. Turn on speakeasy input monitoring. This lets speakeasy hear your chosen shortcut while you work elsewhere. It's not there. Another thing, on the input monitoring screen, the app doesn't appear in the list of options. One has to add it manually by clicking the plus. Is this a restriction of doing it in dev mode, and in production that won't be a problem, or is it a problem with our request for permission? Okay, so we'll add it now. We've got it in the project folder. Somewhere should be .app. Where did it say it would put it? We got a build directory in here. Oh, it crashed. That was weird. Oh wait, there it is. Just doesn't have an extension. So then you have to do quit and reopen. This only happens in dev. Automatically check for updates. So that means we've got Sparkle in, so that's good. What happened there? It's disappeared. Was it you? Yeah. probably. Yep, it's running a build, so that interrupted delightfully. There isn't a clean unit test scene for SwiftUI copy plus the live onboarding model. The build validates the real call path. I'm running the required 2-axis review now, focused on whether every input monitoring surface uses this selected shortcut, whether the enum change is safe. How are we doing for usage today? All good. There's quite a lot of issues now. Are there any that are stale and have been superseded by recent work? And are there any that need triage, further work, further discovery, or that lack tags that they ought to have? So we've merged all the performance work now and it's done, but we might want to keep those branches for reference for a little while longer just to know what happened. I mean, obviously if the code's in, it's fine. So yeah, the safe stale candidates I think we're good to go because all of that stuff looks like we have it now. So go ahead and remove those remote and local. Risky game, hey? Much tidier. Well. Accessibility grants both event posting and listening for this CTG dependent use case. Input monitoring may therefore be redundant because our own IOHID check access gate is what currently makes it required. Yeah, I mean, if we can reduce the permissions required, that sounds great, but we should confirm that accessibility actually includes input monitoring in these cases, including for the FN key. In the meantime, I'm happy for you to add that short-term solution so that we can test it. Am I about to get in trouble for playing copyrighted stuff on here because it's gone off stream beats onto something else? Oops, a daisy. Yeah, don't do that then. Alright, write this up as a ticket, please. We're in. We actually want parakeet. Preparing, is that downloading? I guess it was. And this isn't going to work, is it? Oh, no, it's, yeah. Oh, it actually does. So it works in the box as well. So we're both recording now. That's fun. What happens if I click in here? Epic. Game on. Look at that perfectly see-through window. That's hilarious. Testing, testing. I don't imagine that the mic's going to pass through, but still. Okay, so that kind of works. That's cool. Ooh, that was weird. Why did that move? Does this take us to... No. We haven't got... Oh, there it is. Need some refinement on the settings pages, I think. Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. Right, I'm going to be heading off in a bit, so I just need to give this something to do while I'm driving for an hour. Maybe we should try this. Have we updated the original concentrate portfolio scope semantics document? And are these, do we need to include that in the goal that we give the agent, or are the issues self-contained enough that we should get what we want without including the guide? Nine can close now. 4 can close after PR19 merges. What is PR19? Oh, excuse me. Ah. I think we should be good to go. Oh, but PR19 requires the build to have all of the keys that I haven't entered yet. Excuse me. What number is this? 20. Make the change in issue 20, please, as a PR in a work tree that is branched off main, not the Sparkle Lemon Squeezy branch that we're on now. Alright, so that's that one. Hosted architecture report was updated. There's no corresponding repo document. The HTML remains a temporary review artifact. The issues are self-contained enough. Key decisions are durable in GitHub. Give the agent only implement 136. Should fetch the issue and read context plus relevant. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, 136 through 140. Issues 136 through issue 140 contain some architectural improvements for the app. We should branch those probably off the Lemon Squeezy branch. because that has some not related, but some important work in it that we wouldn't want the re-architecture to affect. So branch off Lemon Squeezy, inner work tree, implement issue 136 through 140, and yeah, that'll be good. Here's a link to the original report that created those issues, or led to those issues. Boom. Make that a goal. All right, game on. That should keep it busy for a while I go and do something else. In a new branch work tree off the Sparkle Lemon Squeezy feature, we need to have some kind of progress indicator when a new model is being downloaded. Currently, when you change the default selected model, there's no indication that it's downloading a 800 megabyte file. It just kind of looks like it's doing nothing. It'd be good to have some visual indicator of a download taking place, and ideally tell you how much is being downloaded and give the opportunity to cancel the download in case you're on a restricted network or limited bandwidth or something. And perhaps it should prompt to ask if you want to download the new model, because it's quite a commitment. And perhaps we should set the Parakeet model as the default, and we shouldn't download these big model files without first requesting permission from the user. Alright, that's going to sit and run for a bit, and I am going to call it a day for now. So thanks for hanging out, thanks for watching, thanks for chatting. Hit the follow, man. Come back another time. I'll see you later. Oh, Flappy, nice one. Yeah, have a good one. Take it easy, folks. I am out.